Okay, let me explain the two things that are necessary, that are new, that do have functions that can be explained in regular math. It's just, you really want to sit through fucking page after page of this shit? And, well, this shit, which is very boring, like the very boring fucking part. Oh, and this would explain a quantum mechanical computer, but, the most efficient kind of them all. Oh, and here's some vowels that nobody's ever discovered before if you plug in, well, the formula. This one's cool. It sounds like a chainsaw. But anyways, let's see. Basically, what this is required. So this is function or formula. It's basically means a specific required function formula to make x activate on the 1. So basically each position has its own function. The one up here is imaginary, but the function imaginary, because believe it or not, there's a way to make imaginary numbers real. I found it out. If you use, well, quantum mechanical functioning, but which also means you can use base 1 math to make base 2 math. But I'll show you that later. It's fucking amazing, dude. Like, fuck, all I had to do was smoke some, I'm just kidding. But that, I imagine that somebody did this, as in, the person invented it, totally not me, smoked, to make it happen, but, magic. It didn't happen at the same time because it was imaginary. That's a funny way of saying, I imagine the Snoop Dogg song, hey, whenever I play the game. By the way, you both won and lost the game at the same time because, I don't know. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, I invented 2 new fucking functions of math that are necessary for math to exist in the first place, plus a third one. Plus technically a fourth one because, well, this exponent-esque thing requires an exponent x thing to exist in the first place to activate. So, whenever you have that, you need 1 behind it, but you also need 1 right here. Or, a prettier way of fucking making it happen is just, put it in the middle right here. So essentially what this means is a self-explanatory function using the number 1 as an example. So it requires this to happen first, though. X and X. And I mean X and X. For the function to kick in of X. But it's all the same. So the X, XX. So let's say you have X activate on 1. X activated on 1 first requires X. So what that means is this entire thing, and I do mean the way it's written, would mean X1, but at the same time, X1. So an ephemeral fucking 1. Which also means you need another 1 just because of how it fucking works. Which I like to put, well, in the imaginary slot. So I have some fucking room. Because technically it is imaginary. This does the same thing as imaginary numbers. Because it is the same thing. It's a hyperstate of 1 and x. But individually, one individually, but at the same time, because they both equal to each other. Does that make sense? So I found a way to translate regular numbers into imaginary numbers and vice versa, which means imagination is the same thing as reality. So every time you imagine you petting a dog, you're petting a dog, which I hope makes you feel better. Have a good day.